Welcome back, warriors of the flame and seekers of power. Today, we re-diving deep into one of the most intense and pivotal episodes of battle. Through the Heavens episode 221, this episode brings us to defining battles. Zhao Yan versus Lu Qing and Zhun Ya versus Lin Shijia. These aren't just battles of fists, they're battles of will, strategy, and heart. Both titans of strength, both known for their extraordinary control over Doqi, and both respected and feared for different reasons. Stick around as we break down every moment, every strike, and every emotional undercurrent that makes this episode unforgettable. So sit back, light your spiritual flames, and let's journey together into the world of Doqi and destiny. The blazing sun stood high over the combat arena, but even its heat was nothing compared to the tension in the air. The tournament was nearing its climax, and the crowd had gathered in overwhelming numbers, all waiting for the moment they knew would shake the very foundation of the Inner Academy. Two names had been whispered, shouted, and burned into every contender's memory: Zhao Yan and Lu Qing. Zhao Yan, the underdog turned flame-wielding prodigy, and Lu Qing, a born powerhouse, carrying not only personal pride, but the weight of his faction. Their auras spoke for them. Power coiled around them like twin dragons preparing to clash. As they stepped into the arena, there was no need for flashy introductions. The crowd fell silent, and then, with no warning, the battle erupted. The first exchange was blisteringly fast. Lu Qing's blade tore through the air like thunder, its edge shimmering with green Doqi, crackling with wind energy. Zhao Yan responded with the grace of a dancer, dodging with minimal movement, eyes calm, calculating. Zhao Yan wasn't just fighting with power, he was fighting with strategy. Blow after blow, his strikes landed like falling meteors. And for a while, it seemed like Zhao Yan was just barely keeping up. He didn't waste strength, he didn't show off, he waited. But Lu Qing was relentless. From the surface of his skin to the tips of his fingers, flames began to burn, not chaotic, but refined. His aura didn't scream for attention, it whispered dominance. Time seemed to slow as spectators watched the birth of a rivalry that would echo through the academy. Then came the shift. Zhao Yan's Doqi flared not just with power, but with evolution. It had matured, it had grown. Zhao Yan launched a counterattack. Agile, precise, each movement guided by layers of combat experience. The battlefield was no longer Lu Qing's, it belonged to both of them. The ground cracked, air rippled with pressure, and Do techniques clashed midair. But then, after what felt like hours packed into mere minutes, the battle stalled. Her opponent? Lin Shijia, another elite fighter with years of reputation and strength behind him. But this wasn't about reputation, it was about power. Both warriors stood tall, panting, glaring. No one yielded. No one fell. It was a stalemate. But make no mistake, this wasn't a disappointment. This was a declaration. Zhao Yan had reached Lu Qing's level. He was no longer just a rising star, he was a storm on the horizon. The silence after the first battle was quickly broken, because the next match was already underway. Lin Shijia attacked with speed and force, but it was like striking at mist. Zhun Ya flowed like water, her golden Doqi shimmering with noble elegance and ancient energy. Every drop of pain, every lonely training session, and every humiliating defeat led to this draw with Lu Qing. After the battle, he acknowledges Zhao Yan not just as a rival, but as an equal. This unspoken bond of respect will define their dynamic moving forward. And although he didn't win, he proved that he belonged at the top. Zuna, always calm, elegant, and composed, now stepped forward. Zuna didn't rush. She didn't need to. Her swift, clinical dismantling of Lin Shijia shows that she's been growing in silence, waiting for the right moment to reveal her strength. From the moment the battle began, her every move radiated confidence. Unlike the first battle, this one didn't last long. Within 10 minutes, Lin Shijia was on the ground, defeated, disoriented, and in disbelief. Xenia hadn't just won, she had dominated. The crowd erupted, but Xenia merely nodded, stepping back into the shadows with the same quiet grace she had entered with. This was her moment not as Zhao Yan's companion, but as a formidable warrior in her own right. What makes episode 221 so powerful isn't just the battles, it's what they represent. For Zhao Yan, this episode marks the transformation from being an underestimated genius to standing shoulder to shoulder with the Academy's best. Lu Qing, for his part, shows something even more important than power respect. Xunji's journey shifts here too. No longer is she simply the noble girl watching from the sidelines. Let's dig deeper. The duel between Zhao Yan and Lu Qing was more than physical, it was philosophical. Lu Qing represents legacy, tradition, and raw, disciplined power. He's been at the top for a long time and is the face of structure. Zhao Yun represents rebirth, innovation, and unpredictable strength. His power comes from unconventional methods, from risk-taking, and a will that refuses to break. Their stalemate isn't just a pause, it's a balancing point in the story. A signal that change is coming, that the old order is about to be rewritten. Xunji's victory, on the other hand, is the quiet revolution. A reminder that not all power shouts, some whispers, and those whispers can shake empires. The animation in this episode was crisp and fluid. Every motion of Du Qi, every impact, and every expression was rendered with attention to detail. The studio didn't rush, they let moments breathe. The close-up on Zhao Yan's narrowed eyes as he predicts Lu Qing's next move. The slow-motion clash of their ultimate Do techniques. The flicker of pride in Xunji's gaze. And let us not forget the music, the orchestral tension that swelled during the duels. Added layers of depth to already intense scenes. This wasn't just a regular action episode. It was a narrative statement. This episode sets the tone for everything that follows. Zhao Yan will now face enemies who view him as a true threat. Lu Qing may eventually become an allior, a rival with a shared cause. Xuna's victory places her in the spotlight, opening new paths for her character. The Inner Academy has seen a power shift, and with that, political changes may follow. And perhaps most importantly, the audience now understands that this isn't just Zhao Yan's story. It's a saga of many destinies colliding in one grand flame-filled tapestry. Episode 221 of Battle Through the Heavens is a masterclass in how to tell stories through combat. Every clash is layered with emotions. Every stare down, every technique, every drop of sweat speaks volumes about the characters, their goals, and the world they inhabit. It's not about who won or lost. It's about who grew, who proved themselves, who made their mark. And from where we're standing, this is just the beginning. And there you have it, Episode 21 of Battle Through the Heavens, fully unpacked and reimagined for those who love a good story. Rich character arcs and battles that do more than just dazzle the eyes. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more story-focused recaps, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss a single flame-filled moment. Let me know in the comments who impressed you more, Zhao Yan or Xuna. And what are your predictions for the next big duel? Until next time, stay strong, keep your Do Ki burning, and remember, every legend starts with a single battle.